Welcome to our new moon gathering, and our new moon actually happened at 7:20, and we were in this room and we just unconsciously recognized there was a shift in energy. It became lighter, more joyful. Anyway, so it's in Aries, new moon in Aries, and Aries is a very powerful sign. It is a fire sign ruled by Mars. So it's very, very energetic, pushing forward. And it's coinciding at 7:53 with a solar eclipse. And to explain the symbolism about these two, the new moon with the solar eclipse, if you were to think about the sun brings us joy, makes us feel motivated to do things, get outside, go on holiday. And then you think about the moon that is covering the sun. So we are without that energy that motivates us outward. So we have to look inward. And this particular new moon solar eclipse is very, very important to do just that. Because we are constantly being asked to remove the negative conditioning that is covering our truth, who we're meant to be, and what our unique role is on this planet. And that's quite hard to do, and because we don't want to look at what's upsetting us too closely. And most of you have worked with me or are still working with me, and you know that I really want you to focus on those uncomfortable moments, because those uncomfortable moments are often called wounds in astrology, but I think that's a bit too much of victim language. It's actually the tools which help us to heal, to help us transform. So they should be welcomed, and I know that's hard to accept, but don't ignore them. And there's another energy connected with Aries. Aries is all about what I want, and I'm going to make it happen. And that sounds egotistical, but really, if you want to do something, and it could be for yourself, for your family, for others, for the planet, you have to have focus, and that's what Aries gives us. It gives us that focus. And the symbolism, the Sabian symbol for this degree of the new moon, is all about social conscience. And it's about giving, being charitable in all the different aspects of charity, and not expecting something back. And that's also difficult because in our world is based on transactional relationships, personal relationships, business relationships. So this isn't easy. That's why we need a lot of support going through this work at this time, but we are being supported if we just listen, if we take time to look at those things that are not serving us. Don't turn a blind eye. This theme comes up quite regularly actually at this time. Those things that make you feel uncomfortable, look at them. And don't look at the person or the situation that created that. Take full responsibility and just know that you're going to look at that so that you are going to see what needs to be removed. And sometimes it's quite difficult to know what you want, particularly if you are in some of the other signs of the zodiac, which is of service. But if you don't know what you want, you can start off by looking at what you don't want. So that's a beginning. And when we go through the breathing later on, I want you to really think with the breath what it is that you really don't want in your life anymore. Be honest. It's not going to happen overnight, so don't worry. But just start to be honest. Mercury is also retrograde, so it's giving us that time to just look, observe, and just don't take action necessarily. Just observe, take the time to look at yourself, you as an individual, not you as part of a team at work, as part of a partnership, a marriage, a mother or father, you as an individual. We sometimes get lost in those titles. And the next 2 weeks, therefore, is about recognizing those things that need to change, which brings us up to the full moon. So the full moon falls on the 23rd. Expect the next 2 weeks to be interesting. So I have warned you. But also it's really good to have a sense of humour about these things as well. We're all in the same boat. No one's perfect. So yeah, sense of humour is absolutely mandatory. So we're going to start now. So make yourself comfortable. Have some tea. Incense, essential oils, make sure you're warm and you won't be disturbed. Okay? So let's start with the breathing. And remember, it's an inward breath from the base of your abdomen. It comes from really deep, this breath. And you take a breath in and hold it at the top for a count of 3. And then release, really squeezing out the breath for a count of 3, holding it outside of the body, and then start the breath again. And with every breath, just observe any thoughts, any memories that come up that might be a little negative, might be a little worrying, any worries, any fears. Just allow them to come up. Don't try and ignore them. Allow them to come up, but breathe them out. Every experience during the day is of value. Welcome the good and the bad, as you perceive bad. And with every breath, on that outward breath, just sink deeper into wherever you're sitting or lying. Allow the body to unravel, melting away any tension. If you've been sitting at a computer most of the day, just breathe into your neck and your shoulders. And then just bring a thought into that inward breath of bringing life into your body, bringing light into your body. Before we can accept anything new into our memories, into our programming, we have to release the clutter that is preventing the light to come in. That negative conditioning that we have gathered over the generations, that generational memory. We need to start unraveling and letting go. The past is the past, and we do not have to recreate the past. The past doesn't equal the future. With this new moon, we have an opportunity for a rebirth. Continue the breath rhythmically, not holding on to any tension in the body. Now we're going to do our body scan, and I'd like you to visualize just a small aperture opening in the crown of your head, into which an orange crystalline vapor is pouring in, going into your head, feet, filling every cavity. And the orange has a slight vibration, which has the ability to clear any blockages that you might have in any organ or tissue of the body. The orange vapor slips down your neck to your shoulders, releasing the shoulders even more, flowing down your arms to your fingertips. Just be aware of that sensation now. And the vapor then goes into your chest cavity, just going into the lungs, the heart. Releasing any tension in the muscles, the small muscles in between the ribs, allowing the ribs to expand with every breath even more. And then take your focus back to the spine, and the orange vapor diffuses down the whole of the back, which has the ability to elongate the spine. Bring your attention to any part of the spine that needs more focus, as the spine is very important. Then take your focus into your abdomen, where we have all the organs of digestion that do a very, very important job. Really expand this with your breath so that the vapor can go into absolutely every cavity. Going down into the intestines and the organs of reproduction, in the deep pelvic basin and the bladder, kidneys. Fill the whole of that cavity with the orange vapor. Observe any blockages and just gently allow the vapor to spend more time in that area. Focus on the bones of the pelvic cavity and the joints, the hip joints. We need a lot of attention because in our modern world We're not mobilizing these joints as we should. And a lot of wear and tear happens, a lot of degeneration happens because of our lifestyle, our diet, and the amount of stress hormones we're producing. So the joints in our body need a lot of attention. Vapor goes down the legs, the thighs. Our legs are so important to ground us into the earth so that we may have a more spiritual connection, a deeper spiritual connection that you can only have if you are very grounded. And go down into the knee joints, nurturing those knee joints. And down your calves, into your ankles, your feet, and feel your feet, your toes open, feel really rooted to the ground. And then just go over your body, scanning from top to toe, just focusing on any area where there seems to be a blockage, and just allow the orange, the colour orange vapor to disperse that blockage. And look at the blockage without judgment, but look at that area, that organ or that muscle, and look at it with love. It represents a part of you that needs healing, both physically and emotionally. So open yourself up to that part of your body that needs extra attention. Now, just seal the aperture in your crown, sealing in the orange vapor. Just sense that feeling of subtle vibration in your body. And we're going on to the next stage of our journey on the amethyst crystal path. See yourself walking outside in an open landscape. Before you appears an amethyst crystal path. You take off your shoes and begin walking on the crystal path. With each step, you feel the subtle vibration of the crystal. And interspersed in the amethyst crystal is tiny flecks of turquoise. In the distance, you see a grove of trees, and you walk towards the trees. The path is leading you there. And as you get closer, you recognize that all the trees are oak trees. And you feel a sense of warmth and comfort as the oak trees, the energy of the oak trees start to reach you already. And you walk to the opening of the grove of trees. You greet them and ask permission to go inside. They bow their branches in agreement and invite you in. You greet every tree one by one. And you choose one to communicate with. You ask this tree if you may sit and communicate and spend some time with the tree. And then turn your back, sit down at the base of the trunk and just connect, open your unconscious mind to the energy of the tree that brings so much support and security. And just feel enveloped in that energy. Feel the strength that it's giving you. Don't try to push anything, just allow any thoughts, any images just to occur, any sensation. There is no right answer here. We're all different and we'll communicate with nature in a different way. The most important thing is to be open. And the energy of this tree will give you the courage to confront that which you need to let go of. Take a breath in, stand up, turn towards the tree, thank the tree for everything he has shared with you. Go back to the path which leads you out of the grove onto the plateau. Walk towards the edge. And you look down at the waterfalls coming down into the valley, into the body of water at the bottom, in which are 3 amethysts, pillars in the shape of diamonds in the water. And as you walk down the steps to the water's edge, you can see the water is diffused with the amethyst atoms colouring the water, a delicate shade of violet. You walk into the water, bend down and drink the water by cupping it in your hands and drinking. And feel the energy going into your body. You then lay in the water where you are half submerged, and there is tremendous buoyancy in this water. You're supported completely, but your ears are covered by the water. You eventually hear a sound. It starts very, very quietly, very hard to hear, and then becomes more obvious and more clear. This is the frequency of the crystal, converting to a sound, something audible that you can relate to. And you can feel it in every part of your body. Every cell in your body is activated and begins to emit the correct frequency for the whole body healing. The body is like a well-rehearsed orchestra. You have to work on the whole body with frequencies. Make sure there's balance. And with this frequency comes information. Not information in a logical manner, but this is the frequency of wisdom. Just surrender to this frequency. Adjusting every part of you. The water supporting you, you can really let go. And then begin to raise yourself slowly from the water. Walk to the water's edge and just assimilate this new energy in your body. Have an awareness how it has affected you on every level. And then begin walking up the steps to the top of the plateau, feeling lighter and more energized. Step back on the path, the crystal path that takes you back into the grove of trees. You once again thank your trees for all that they give you. They give all of this without asking for anything back. walk back out, turn round and say your final farewell to the trees, thanking them again. You can never thank them enough. And then turn around on your return journey on the crystal path. And as you walk, you feel the energy that you have taken from the crystals in the river, in the water, from the atoms of amethyst, build up in your body, building up more and more into your solar plexus, and then it begins to radiate out, radiating out to your immediate environment, the people in that environment. Then take it further, and the more you give, the more you receive. It gives you strength to give more. You broadcast further afield, going throughout this country, or the country where you are at the moment, and then see it begin to diffuse over the whole of the planet. And every country it touches, it brings healing energy, a warmth, nurturing. It brings a sense of safety into these areas where there is too much conflict. It goes into the waterways, the seas, the oceans, the rivers and the lakes, purifying and energizing. All the time, this energy that you are broadcasting is getting stronger and wider, more expansive. It expands all the time, embracing everything on this planet. Every plant, every stone, every living thing. And then you eventually come to the end of the crystal path. Step off the crystal path, put on your shoes. Take a breath in, release, and just bring your consciousness into the room where you are. Touch whatever you're sitting or lying on. Make yourself aware of your physical body. When you're ready, sit up, but take some time to just think about what has transpired and perhaps take a few notes of what came up for you. Before we sign off, I'd just like to say the next new moon, which is going to be in May, I think it's May the 8th, Siobhan and I are going to be in a very remote part of the west of Ireland, so we won't be having a new moon gathering, but I will send out to you beforehand some themes and the Sabian symbol so that you can do your own personal new moon intention ritual. It's just to keep you on track. So once again, thank you for joining us this evening, and make sure that you keep an eye on the full moon and the build up to the full moon, because whatever occurs during these 2 weeks is very important for you to take notice. And we will see you in June. Good night, everyone.